Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland, Michigan. I hope your Saturday is off to a great start here in the mid-Michigan area. It is as well. We are in the throes of fall. You see, I flanneled up, so it's a little bit chillier. Skies are cloudy today. I think they're going to be kind of mostly to partly cloudy throughout, but still, we have got temps in the 60s. That's your weather report from mid-Michigan. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Okay, sorry about that. You know, I like to toss those in there to see how, let you know how things are going here. But I'm happy that fall is here. It's mid-October already, for crying out loud. Blink, and there we go. Time change coming up here in a couple of weeks, I do believe. The Record Store Day Black Friday list is out. Record Store Day Black Friday right around the corner. Halloween in a couple of weeks, it seems, as well. 2.5? What do we got here? Yeah, 3 weeks. We're good there. 3 weeks to that. Okay. Enough about time passing too quickly. Lots of stuff going on today. And yeah, I know that there's some questions you folks have about me regarding the Rush news that came out this week. So hang on tight. I'll talk about that here in a couple of moments. But first, let us go ahead and say some good mornings before we get to all the meat and taters of today's live broadcast. On the YouTube side of things, let's see. Lots of folks saying hi. That is always cool. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see, TC from TKR Video Central, good morning to you out east. Jennifer saying good morning as well. Dan, good morning to you. Betty in Toledo, sunny down there. Good to hear, and maybe we'll get a little bit of that our way today. Diesel 65 saying good morning from Round Rock, Texas. Thank you for checking in from down in the Lone Star State. Pat saying good morning, and good morning peeps as well. And Karen, old friend Karen, saying happy Saturday. Putting this out in the universe, I'm willing to be a +1 for any Rush concert. There we go. You know, Karen, we talked a little bit about that via text, and I'm assuming that means you didn't quite get in yet, or that's a tough one to do. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully you land something. So yeah, the big news the other day, and as a Rush fan, you know, I was getting some questions. A lot of folks sending me the news clips and everything that came in. With that, of Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson teaming back up to go back out for another tour, their 50-ish tour. And Annika, what was her last name? I'm sorry, I forgot about that at the moment. Brought in a new drummer, and they're bringing in a keyboardist as well. And they're hitting the road for 12 cities, and they've since doubled the shows up. A lot of folks asking my opinions on that, and I am of the opinion I'm saying good for them. Good for them. Geddy and Alex love playing. They love performing. They love hanging out together and making music. So good on them. The fact that they brought somebody in like Annika to be the drummer is also very cool. I mean, they could have gone numerous ways with established drummers, but I think what they did was probably the coolest way to do this if they're going to do that. Now, the big question about whether or not I'm going to try to see them live. No, I'm not. If there was a Michigan one, I would have considered it, but you know, Chicago, New York, even Cleveland is just not something I'm willing to drop hundreds and in some cases close to $1,000 for, based upon what I'm hearing. The ticket sales did go, I think, yesterday. They had the pre-sale up for a while, and then the tickets went, and I don't know what to call them. I'll watch my tongue here talking about some of the unscrupulous places that had tickets up already for sale before they were actually officially for sale from Ticketmaster, and they were in the $500 to $100 range up to $1,000. Saw a few of those, and I think that I started seeing that they're starting officially around $100 for nosebleed seats and going up to $400 or $500, and that's cool. And anybody that wants to see them, I think that is absolutely fabulous. Go see them. In my lifetime, I've got about 12 Rush concerts under my belt, including the last several. I saw Snakes and Arrows twice. I got to see the Clockwork Angels tour. I saw R30. I saw R40, the finale tour. So I'm good. I'm good, and I'll wait for the eventual vinyl release of the show and or the DVD Blu-ray of the show. But for those of you that want to see it, I thoroughly and strongly encourage you, go check it out. It's a great show, regardless. So Karen, yep, willing to be a +1 for anybody that wants to go see. Hit me up. I'll send it over to Karen. Chuck, good morning to you and Diesel. You're going to see them, the Fort Worth shows. I see that plural. You have an S. Does that mean you're going to more than one? Congratulations. If that is the case, good sir. Happy for you. Should be fun. So that's my thoughts. Steve and I are going to talk about this a little bit more on our podcast coming up tomorrow evening. Two guys talking about records. Steve had already texted me about this as well, wanting to know my thoughts, and so we'll dive into that a little bit more. Again, I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for anybody that wants to go see it. I'm probably not going to do so myself, but that's just me. My concert, big concert going days, maybe a little behind me, but we'll see. But yeah, check out the podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records, Sunday evenings. Goes up on Spotify at about 7, goes up on our YouTube channel about 7. Make sure you're subscribed so you see that first. Topic this week, Steve and I are talking about record collection purges. When is it time to purge a good portion of your collection? That's a tough subject, so we'll tackle that one coming up on tomorrow's podcast. Now for the big news, biggish news, is Record Store Day, Black Friday. We put the link up. I think we mentioned this. The list went live last week, and I was going to get the wish list up, the wish list form rather up, and that is up. I put the link to that on our Facebook page. If you're not a part of the Facebook page, you're coming in from X or YouTube or otherwise, let me know, and I will send you the link to that Google Doc. We don't use that for any information gathering purposes other than to figure out what it is we'd like to order for Black Friday. So your name doesn't go on a list. We won't spam you or anything like that via the form. We just want to know what it is you guys are looking for, so we have that as a basis for our ordering. So again, the Record Store Day Black Friday wish list link is up on our Facebook page. Contact me if you don't do Facebook. I will email you the link to that Google Doc, and you can kind of get in on that as well. Again, for the uninitiated, the fact that you're submitting a wish list for Record Store Day Black Friday does not mean that we will hold, reserve, or pre-sell any of the Black Friday releases. We just cannot do that per the rules from Record Store Day. But this, as I mentioned, the wish list gives us a bit of a guidance system to figure out what to order and how many of each of what to order, if that makes sense. So deadline for that's important. Let me call my phone back up here. Since the list went live last week, the deadline for submitting this wish list form to us is now Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 14th. So roughly evening, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, we will take the list down and call it good because our orders are due very shortly after that. So you have a few more days to submit that wish list to us if you'd like to get some stuff on there. All we ask is that if you do submit a wish list, and you're local especially, make sure that you come in on Black Friday to get this so we don't get stuck with a lot. Now, I do take wish lists from folks that have been following our channel from out of town. And the way we kind of work that is if you submit a wish list and the stuff is, we get that in store, but you're out of town and you can't make it here, we follow the rules of Record Store Day, which states that I think the next morning, so in this case, Sunday morning, we're, as a record store, allowed to put them, Saturday morning rather, because it's Black Friday, we're allowed to start listing those up online if we so desire, stores that want to. So for those of you who add our wish list and you're out of town, we'll still order them. And if we have them still in stock come Saturday morning, then those are yours. We'll get in touch with you and get them shipped out. But again, we can't hold based on the rules, but you're more than welcome to wish list and then order them after the fact from us on Saturday if we have them left over. I do that a lot of times every year. We've got a few out of state viewers that we tremendously appreciate, and we'll do it that way. So make that. Now you guys are hearing the door dinger. That's our business neighbor next door, Young Fitness, coming and going. I forgot to turn the dinger off again, so there's nobody trying to sneak in on us. Okay, so that's the Black Friday list. Steve and I covered that on the podcast last week, if you're curious. We'll talk about it a little bit more because there's been some shifting on there, but we did cover a few of the things that we're looking for personally on that list, things that I thought were cool, and we covered some prices as well. So make sure you go back to last week's podcast and check that out when you get a chance. Okay, this week, some new releases to cover. Let's see if there's any Fort Worth shows. Oh, Karen's saying she only saw them once in 77. Back to the Rush thing. Yep. I wish you could have gone more than that, Karen. It was great to see them in their prime. Okay, excuse me. Okay, new releases. and the vinyl drop from yesterday. If you didn't catch that, that is on our channel also. Back up to look for yesterday's new and vintage vinyl drop. On the vintage side, I'm hesitant to call them vintage because there was a lot of those gently used. I think I mentioned several weeks back, I brought in a collection. Somebody was getting rid of a lot of stuff, so that's pretty much everything from 2017, 18 on, reissues and new releases and such. And we put out another batch of those yesterday. So there's a lot of good stuff in there, reasonably priced for what they are. Some higher end collectibles, mind you, and there still is a lot of that stuff left. So check that out on the vintage side. But on the new release side, some stuff from yesterday that we still do have in stock. Brand new Public Enemy album came out yesterday. This is called Black Sky Over the Projects, Apartment 2025. Some cool stuff for you Public Enemy fans. They are back. This is a full album. Got one of these left in stock. I do believe that is on black vinyl. I cannot remember offhand. New album also yesterday released from Testament. This is called Parabellum, and the particular version that we have in store is on copper colored vinyl, so it's going to match the cover of that a little bit. Double LP, one of these left in stock. I think I can get more, and I think I can get more of the Public Enemy as well. Big anniversary. I mean, we're heading headlong into Halloween, as I mentioned earlier, but a big anniversary release yesterday from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. 50th anniversary of the film. No, the soundtrack, I think. I get confused. I think they were the same year. The play came out the year before. But the 50th anniversary of the original movie soundtrack. Been reissued several times on multiple different color variants, but this one is pressed on gold, red in gold. So it's kind of not even a swirl. It's like a dual color vinyl. I saw the image of that. It's red in the center and gold on the outer, kind of matching the album cover. It also includes a handwritten session diary of the film and previously unseen photos from producer Richard Hartley. So good stuff. For those of you who are fans of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I do have 2 of these left in stock, so if you need it, I know that you are shivering with anticipation. Come get it. We got 2 of them in stock still. You saw where I went there. Okay, another cool Halloween soundtrack. I love this one. This is The Return of the Living Dead. Do not get this confused with the Romero stuff. Not Night of, not Dawn of, not Day of. This is Return of. This was an 80s B movie. Just fantastic, fun, stupid movie in the 80s called Return of the Living Dead. Their take on the zombie genre. And this is just a cool punk and post-punk soundtrack. Lots of great stuff on here from the Cramps, 45 Grave, TSOL for crying out loud, Rocky Erickson from 13th Floor Elevators with one of my favorite Halloween-ish songs on there. It's called Burn the Flames. The Damned are on here, the Tall Boys, SSQ as well. Just a cool soundtrack. I'm lucky enough to have found an OG of this several years back. So this reissue, if you've not listened to it, check it out. It is on green toxic waste vinyl, 40th anniversary of the punk rock zombie town, the only punk rock zombie soundtrack that you'll ever need. Return of the Living Dead. I got a couple of those in stock. I should be able to get more, so they're fun. Other reissues from yesterday, a reissue anniversary-wise. 50th of Patti Smith and Horses, a double LP set, which has got the original vinyl, original album, really, remastered from the original master tapes. And the second LP is previously unreleased outtakes, rarities, and demos, including Patti Smith's 1975 RCA demo tape. So some cool stuff on here with Lenny Kaye. We talked about him on the podcast the other day. He put together that Garage Nuggets LP in the 80s, I believe. So Patti Smith Horses, 1 copy of this in stock. The Rocktober stuff, check out the new release show coming up a little later today. They're finally getting some of that Rocktober stuff around, and there's a big batch coming out next week. We'll cover that. Okay, just a couple of one other reissue. Back in stock, I've got 1 final orange copy of the Van Halen Balance. I got a couple of black vinyl copies in stock, but for whatever reason, they sent me 1 more orange one. I thought that those were done and gone, but I've got that back in stock. Okay, I am up on time. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the Neil Peart tributes. I've been working with the guys at Rushfest Scotland for several years now as they continually put out a Neil Peart tribute album for cancer research. The latest one, number 6, just hit the store last week. I got those shipped out to the U.S. customers because we help Rushfest Scotland out and Steve Brown that way. And I do have a couple of copies of this in store for those of you that want them. And I still have a copy of the previous one, volume 4, not the previous, volume 4, and a couple copies of volume 3 in stock as well, with the artwork by Hugh Syme. So 2 copies of this. I can probably get more. Look that up. I'll talk a little bit more about that on the podcast with Steve also. All right, let's say goodbye here. Vinyl Piper, good morning from Los Angeles, checking in, under the gun. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, folks, that will do it for this week's live update. I'm going to get the store open, the turntable spinning. What do I have on? I'm going to play Paul Simon, Graceland first up here. I haven't heard that in a while, so we got a copy in, and we will spin that first. Otherwise, please check us out at 716 George Street, just north of downtown Midland. Open today, Saturday, from now until 4 p.m. Tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 noon till 4 p.m. One program note, the store will be closed on Wednesday next week. I need a day off to take care of a few things, so Wednesday the 22nd we will be closed, but open the rest of next week per normal. All right, you folks have fun. Get out there, enjoy some good fall weather. Hopefully it's cool where you are. You folks in LA and Texas, enjoy your fall-ish weather that you guys get there. I'll take the flannel side here in Michigan anytime, but as always, thank you guys so much for being here. And we will talk to you next time from Radio Wasteland. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, do all that stuff. Watch the new release show later today for lots of Rocktober stuff. And then catch out the podcast with Steve and I on Sunday nights. Okay, I'm over time. Kim's saying wrap it up at home. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you next week from the Wasteland.